Hey everyone, this is DM Raven. I figured I should make a video on getting set up in Roll20 for my games because I often get a lot of questions about that. So hopefully this video will help when you are getting set up to know just what you should be putting your settings at, how to make your first character, etc. So, when you first get into one of my games, what you should do right away is go mess with the sound settings a bit. So you go to settings here under audio and video. You want to make sure that these are both set to none. This is to transmit or get transmissions from other players. No one should be doing that in Roll20. That's all being done in Discord. So set these to none. The next thing you want to do is there are two tabs here. You want to go to video display and set your player avatar sizes to either small or regular. I would suggest small just because you want to have more real estate. You could set it to names only. I just like small because it lets you know what type of picture you're transmitting, because we do stream games, so it's good to know if you're transmitting your character or your account, which actually well, we'll discuss that a little bit more later. But once those are set, and let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, right. So also up here on display name, personalization and display, you want to set this to display your character name and your name that you want to be called in parentheses. So for example, if you were Diedrich and your real name that you want people to call you is John, you would do something like that. And then you'll now see down here it'll list you as Diedrich John, which is how you want that to be set. If you don't want to, you don't have to put the parentheses with your real name. It just is easier, especially in the beginning when you're getting used to names and what you want people to call you and what you're calling other people. So yeah, set that. And I think that is it. If you want to play around with the music volume, it's here in the audio video chat. Just adjust this. If you want it less, if you want it more, that will affect how the music. I do recommend having music just because I do kind of I make the music relatable to what's happening, but by all means, if you want to use your own music, just do that. Alright, so that's your starting display stuff here. Now let's talk about characters. So when you first get in, you should look in this journal area. You won't see all this stuff because this is kind of DM privilege, but you should see somewhere at the top of the journal a character with your name on it that you can edit. So what you want to do, and the only problem is, and let me just see if I can set this up to be something that only I can edit, just so you'll see what this looks like from your view. So this will be a DM Raven character. Alright, now I'm going to try rejoining as a player. And this should give me only the options of a player. So I shouldn't see all the DM character building stuff, which will give you all a better idea of what you'll see. Alright, so we'll go to the journal, sample character. Alright, so you got your sample character here, not much going on. First thing you want to do, character sheet. And you want to say, use the Charactermancer to build yourself a new character. Alright, so we're in the Charactermancer. It'll give you some options to start out. You hit next. And now we're at the start, so you want to choose a race. If you click the drop down, it should give you access to all the races I have in my compendium, assuming I've set it up to give you access, which make sure you check with me if you're not seeing all the races. So let's say this is going to be an elf. Alright, so we got the elf. We're going to choose your alignment here. Let's just say lawful good. Going down, fade gives you kind of all the information you need for the elves, the bottom subrace. We'll say high elf. Why not? So now you have High Elf in there. If there are other options to choose, like here, language proficiency, we'll say they speak Abyssal. That's easy. And you get a cantrip, which I think it'll let you choose later. So now you hit next. Make sure you choose all this stuff because it will allow you to hit next without choosing things, and you don't want to skip things because that'll mean your sheet will be incomplete. So you hit next. Choose a class. Let's say a wizard. We got the wizard, which gives you information on the wizard up here. Going down, it'll make you choose proficiencies. We'll say Arcana and History. Moving down, cantrip spellbooks. Like I said, make sure there's nothing else to choose. Hit next. Then we have ability score method. I use point buy, so this one. 27 points, so we'll go through. I mean, probably wouldn't need too much strength. Maybe some dex for dodging, some con for surviving. Wisdom is good to have. Charisma is good to have. We have 2 more points. Put this at 10. There we go. So we got, make sure this is at 0. And you have your points assigned. Again, make sure there's nothing else below. Click next. Then we'll go into backgrounds. Again, just choose whatever you want. I'll be a soldier. Why not? Which will give you more options. Choose a vehicle or whatever. Let's see, dragon set, chess. Then you choose your stuff here. I'm just going to roll for them. Specialty, I'll just roll for it. So make sure all that's chosen. Hit next. Equipment, would you like to choose your equipment? You can go with either of these. People often say class equipment is the better deal. I'll just go with that. Choose quarterstaff, component pouch, explorer's pack. Sure, why not? And you get another thing. We already have the chess sets. We'll say deck of cards. Our guy likes to play games. Cantrips. You get one from High Elf. Let's say Firebolt. Then you get your wizard cantrips, which I'm just going to choose stuff. You can choose whatever you want when you go through these. Again, very important that you always choose things as you're going through Charactermancer, or else it will skip options that you should have had. So those definitely weren't the best choices, but I just chose things. No feats at this level. As you see, we're kind of going through this. Bio, you should fill this stuff out. Leave that for now. You would put stuff in, let's say 200, 5'5", I don't know, 100, eyes green, hair white, skin white. Hit next. It kind of gives you a review here. Make sure that everything is looking correct, which this does. I'm going to check race again really quick. That 16 seems low. Don't do this customize your origin unless you're knowing what you're doing. Just keep that turned off. Oh, that's right. They get Dex, and High Elf gets +1. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. So now you can click back on review. Everything looks good. Apply changes. Make sure you click this. Leave it alone. Do not touch it while it's doing this, or it'll get very upset. And boom, you got your character. All right, first level, everything. Now that you have your character, there's a couple of things we want to do at the settings. So first thing we do is go to this. Always roll advantage, that's correct. Never whisper rolls, that's correct. Don't auto roll damage, that is also correct. So you want to come down to here, and ammo tracking you want to turn on, exhaustion you want to turn on, hit dice per class on, and long and short rest you want to turn on. So make sure you get all those turned on. You can take a look around, but this stuff might be confusing. So, another thing you want to turn on is this little thing right here, add dex to tiebreaker. This is a good thing to have because it'll mark your dex in your initiative roll, and that'll help you track to see if your initiative should be higher. If, like, say you both roll a 13, if your dex is higher than the other guy, he will go first. This all looks good for now. Go back to core, looking good. Yep, everything looks like it is in place. So you'll have your items, or sorry, these are your items, these are your macros, which I believe it gave you for some of the attack spells you have. And just as an example, because I want to talk a little bit about ammo. So let's say this guy has a bow. They're an elf, so I think they do have proficiency. So let's say like a longbow. Let me just double check if I have proficiency for this. Yeah, so let's say I have a longbow. For whatever reason, this wizard likes to fire longbows sometimes. When you add longbow, and definitely don't do this unless you bought it as part of your starting stuff or you have it. But if you have longbow here, it gives you automatically makes a macro for it, and it would add it to the bottom of your loot list there. So let's give some arrows. Again, we're assuming that we were able to buy these, or for some reason they came with our starting package. So you add arrows. You should see arrows here. Let's say there were 20 of them. So what you want to do now is you want to link your arrows to the longbow as an ammunition. So you click on this little dot right here. It'll appear when you mouse over it. You want to make sure use as resource is checked, which it is. Equipped, good. Those are both good. You'll come up here and you'll notice it put arrows as a resource. So what you can do now is if you click on longbow, there's a cog here. You make sure you click on the cog. You'll see ammunition down here. You want to make sure you type it exactly as it is here. It's case sensitive, and spaces, if you accidentally put spaces in like the name here, like after arrows, will mess it up. So you type it exactly how it is. One of the things you could do is click here, double click, Control C, then down here, Control V. All right, so that should have set it up correctly. You close it, and now when you fire your longbow, if we look at chat, excuse my alarm going off. This will definitely be cut out of the video. Definitely. Assuming I can figure out how to turn my alarm off. I can. Alright. So now, as I was saying, if you click longbow, you'll see in the chat here, it did the attack, and it minused an arrow. So this will track your ammunition. You wouldn't have to worry about minusing an arrow every time, worrying about forgetting it. This is set up to now track your ammunition. So what you want to do now is, if you're someone who uses spells, one thing you might notice, at level 1, it should have given you, I don't know why it's 0, but you should have 2 spells at level 1. One thing you could test is if you click on Burning Hands now and cast it. You see it did the Burning Hands, as well as took one of your spell slots. So this will automatically track your spell slots, assuming you click the ammunition thing. And you don't have to worry about making sure you did that right. So that's automatically tracked. Another thing you want to do, or at least take note of, is now you have a long and short rest button, which came up because of the settings we did. So your resources here, one of the things you have is Arcane Recovery. And just as an example, this will come back if you do a long rest. So what you want to do for something like this is you click this cog here, reset on, you put it as long rest, close it, and now if you say use the Arcane Recovery, let's just say we use it, for something for Arcane Recovery, and then when you take a long rest, if you click this button, it will restore your Arcane Recovery, and it should have restored your spells, which it did. So a really neat function is these long rest and short rest buttons, your resources here. You can make it so that when you click the buttons, they will restore resources for, like, say, if you're a monk with key points, I believe those come back on a short rest. So if they're being tracked here, you set them to short rest, you click short rest, you get them back. Another thing you want to do is make another resource called short rest, because you only get a certain amount of those per day. And it doesn't make this resource automatically. So you get 1 per day per proficiency modifier, which at first level you have 2. So you put 2 total, and you have 2. And every time you take a short rest, you can -1. And at the end of the day with a long rest, set this to recharge on long rest. End of the day, long rest. Let's say you've used them, and then they will recharge. So that is kind of a quick note on how to add resources here and set them so they recover on a long or short rest. Okay, we have our character, we have our stats and everything looking good. The other thing I want to mention is level ups. Now, it's not very intuitive, but when you want to level up, there is a button hidden in the program, which if you go to the cog here, this button here, Launch Level Up plus Charactermancer, is what you click when you want to level up. So if you are level 2, level 3 starting, or you level up during the game, you click this, it'll launch you back into the Charactermancer, basically with the exact same thing of going through, picking powers, spells, anything that you need to pick. Again, make sure you choose everything, and then at the end it'll give you a save option to generate the character. So that's how you level up. Other than that, adding a picture, very easy. Make sure you have a picture for your character when you first make it. You go to Bio and Info, click Edit up here, and you just click this to upload. You can also edit your character name here. Bio, so I wouldn't use this for your bio. This section can be seen by everyone. I guess you could put a few things that you want people to know about you if they just look at your journal entry. So say, if you want a quick description, character stands tall, lots of confidence, hates humans. Boom. Save changes, you have your picture here. I'm not going to go do a picture because, yeah, it's just, you know what it is. So this would come up whenever someone looks at your journal entry. Now, if you want something more secret for your bio, this is where you go, into your sheet on bio. Allies and organizations, additional features and traits, treasure, backstory. None of this can be seen by your fellow characters, so this is a good place to keep your secrets, as well as additional anything you want to track. This is basically an overall notes section. So there you have it. That is kind of a general overview as to getting set up and creating your character. If this is helpful, I might make more of these, but I want to start with this one, see how it goes. Let me know in the comments, or just send me a message, because this is probably going to be on YouTube and I'm not going to see it much there. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you all in the world of Gaian. Good luck in your adventures.